driver will retain his crown.
Max Verstappen, you are a four-time world champion. Oh my God.
Max Verstappen, the unstoppable force of Formula One, fresh off his fourth consecutive championship, made a bold claim. He could have won the 2024 title even if he had been driving for McLaren. That's right, Max suggested that if he had swapped cars with Lando Norris, he would still be holding the trophy. But Lando wasn't having it, and his response made waves. Let's dive into Max's statement, Lando's reaction, and whether Max is overestimating himself. Max's claim, confidence or overconfidence. In a recent interview, Max claimed that McLaren's car, which showed significant pace after mid-season upgrades, could have been enough for him to win the championship. His confidence is unshaken. Would I have become champion in the McLaren? Yes, and much earlier too. In 2021, I would have also won the title in a different car, Mercedes. This isn't surprising coming from a driver with 8 wins and 13 podiums in 2024, but here's the twist. Lando Norris didn't agree. Lando's response. Lando fired back, pointing out that Max's claim might be oversimplifying things. He acknowledged that McLaren improved drastically throughout the season, but emphasized their slow start and the challenges they faced. No, definitely not. I mean, no one ever in the history of Formula One has come back from the size of deficit I had. Lando's frustration wasn't just about the car, it was about the entire ecosystem of challenges McLaren faced this season. McLaren's tough start to 2024. To understand why Lando's right, let's rewind to McLaren's start to 2024. Their car lacked straight-line speed and consistency, struggling to even compete with midfield teams early on. Norris only secured 2 podiums in the first 5 races, while Verstappen won races with no actual challenge from the rest of the grid. Would Max have been able to dominate in those conditions? History tells us that even the best drivers need a competitive car to shine. McLaren's challenges beyond the car. But it wasn't just about car performance. McLaren faced internal and external challenges all season. Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri were often neck and neck, creating a competitive, if tense, environment. The Australian stood firm on racing for himself and fought Norris as hard as he fought the rest of the grid, while Sergio Perez couldn't even match Max's pace. Strategy blunders also hurt the team, with decisions on pit stops and team orders costing them solid point hauls. Would Max's arrival at McLaren have reshaped the team around him? Or would he have faced the same challenges Lando did from Oscar? Considering the history of McLaren and the character of Oscar, the answer is a resounding yes. The competition factor. Another major factor is McLaren's rivals. Ferrari shone on high-speed tracks, while Mercedes dominated tighter circuits. Even with McLaren's improvements, they struggled to consistently outperform these teams. It's hard to say if Max would have made a difference in such situations with the MCL38, but it's fair to assume that he probably would have done a better job than Norris, considering the experience and racing style of the Red Bull driver. Red Bull's advantage, a car built for Max. Finally, let's not forget, Max's Red Bull wasn't just a fast car, it was his car. The RB20 was tailored to Max's aggressive driving style, excelling on straights and managing tire degradation. McLaren's MCL38, though fast, had different handling characteristics that even Lando admitted took time to master. Could Max have adapted? Absolutely. But history shows that Max's dominance coincides with having the best car on the grid, a luxury he wouldn't have had at McLaren until the 2024 season entered the second half. Even then, there was no consistency. Could Max win in a McLaren? Max Verstappen is undoubtedly one of the greatest talents F1 has ever seen, and McLaren's mid-season form was impressive. Could Max have won a few races with McLaren? Probably, but a championship? That's far from guaranteed. One thing is certain though, Verstappen would have likely made fewer mistakes during races and would have been much closer in the points table to Red Bull than any other driver could have achieved in the same situation. What do you think? Is Max overestimating himself, or could he really have pulled it off in a McLaren? Share your thoughts in the comments below.